Raufeon Stots, welcome back to MMA Junkie Radio. How you doing?
Doing good, man. How you doing?
Man, I'm excited about your fight. 16-1 against 18-1. These are two bantamweights that are just not getting talked about enough, and this is a very pivotal fight in your division over at Bellator.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I might be just as excited, if not more excited. I'm ready to get in there.
Yeah, no, like seriously, we've appreciated your journey throughout your career, and that is not easy. 16-1. That is over a 90 percentile win rate. You've just found a way to win. So
Yes,
when you carve up a game plan, are you like actually devising game plans and doing it? Or has all this just happened in the octagon where you found ways to win, or a little bit of both?
I credit my coaches. I feel like they've developed a game around my wrestling and around my just overall athletic ability to pretty much dominate, and all my fights kind of, end up going the same. I leave very little options for the opponents, which allows me to, just be better at being me. And it just gets better as I go. So, yeah, I credit my coaches for that. They've done the all the technical work.
So it is a little bit of a if it ain't broke, don't fix it type of deal. I mean, the only thing that's caught you is a spinning back fist, which
Yep.
a lot of people really don't see those coming.
Yes, sir. And that helped like mold some of my game, because I feel like what I was missing before was like the mindset, the mindset going to a fight is different than me going into a wrestling match. I would go into wrestling matches kind of like, eventually I'm going to win, I'm going to wear them down, and I'm going to take them out, but I just got to be more aware, especially when I'm fighting mixed martial artists, because usually I'm like the A side because of my wrestling. So people are fighting me up. Like they're fighting, kind of trying to fight the best fight of their lives because they know it's going to be a tough fight. So they're ready from bell to bell, So I needed that, Unfortunately, I needed that to help develop my game.
Have you been watching any of the wrestling at the Olympics?
I have, I've been following. I seen David Taylor just won. Gable Stevenson is I think he's on later today. But he's been killing it, teching everybody. And of course, Tamara,
Yeah.
she's a beast. She's a monster. Also, the silver medalist was a Nigerian. So the big things are happening. It's pretty cool to watch.
Well, you covered basically everything I wanted to, but I did want to chime in on Magomed Lopez, the Cuban Greco-Roman.
Mm-hmm.
4 gold medals, 4 Olympic gold medals to add to 5 world championships.
Right, and isn't he like he's what,
he's
40?
got 4 silver world championships? Like that is an amazing feat.
Crazy, and he's like he got to be the oldest to win a gold medal in wrestling, right? The Cuban.
That I'm not sure. I know he's 38 years old. I don't know if he's the oldest, but I remember the great Alexander Karelin from
that's true.
Russia was 3-1 before Roland Gardner stopped him. Otherwise, he would have been 4-0. But basically, this guy just hasn't been done before.
That's crazy. That reign is like crazy. Olympics happen every 4 years, and you got 4 of them. So you got like over a decade of freaking a decade and a half of freaking dominance. That's hard to do. That's crazy.
You draw inspiration from watching those type of events. I mean, it's wrestling's a part of your game, but now you guys are mixing in punches and knees and all that. But this is your bread and butter. Do you draw inspiration from the Olympics?
Yeah, I definitely draw inspiration. I feel like wrestling for me has like, it's changed the course of my life, from starting from like some kid in the projects, finding out about wrestling when I was in high school. It's like changed the course of my life, open up a lot of opportunities for me. So to see people like compete at the top level and to know like the hard work and sacrifice that they've gone through, it's just like, it's refreshing, and it's like reassuring, motivating. Like, man, we can do anything we put our mind to.
Definitely.
Tell us a little bit about this matchup in particular. How do you feel that this one stands out over any other opponent you've ever had?
I feel like Magomed is probably the most decorated as far as like what he's accomplished, but I feel my career has been that, the next guy is always like the most decorated. But because he has a win over the UFC champion Peter Yan, so he's got like a decorated, and he's the ACB champion, so he's got a decorated past, but also like where Russian MMA, is kind of taking off, so this opponent kind of differs because like everybody, is like Russia is like so hot right now. Like a quote from Zoolander, like Russia is so hot. Like Will Ferrell said, I don't forget what he said, but I feel like Russia is hot right now. So, but rightfully so. The Dagestani and the Russians are like, really dominating, really imposing. So this fight will be like an eye opener, I feel like, to a lot of people. Just how you should approach these type of fights and these type of fighters.
I know George brought up the Olympics, but this particular fight, nationalistic pride on the line, does that always kind of play a little factor?
Yeah, exactly. I'm representing Nigeria, and I'm representing America. I'm American, but my dad is from Nigeria, so I've had a different upbringing. I wasn't raised in the mountains, but I was raised in the streets, so yeah, definitely a bit of national pride. I've had a couple Russian, I call fans, kind of come at me, over social media. So, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to, put some stuff on my back, put my team on my back, put my country on my back, and go out there and perform.
We've known you for a minute now. I mean, it's been a while that we've been covering your career. We've always known you to be a guy that's focusing on the task ahead. But it's human nature to not necessarily look past someone, but maybe look ahead in life. The champ, how often do you watch him? Do you size him up? How do you think he would do?
I mean, like Sergio, the champ is my teammate, you know what I mean? So there's not a bunch of sizing up. Like, we know each other's sizes and we got each other's. I mean, we've trained together for 7 years now, so we're still adding stuff to our game, but we're pretty aware of who's good where, who's better where. But at this point, which is why I love Sergio. We're not kind of looking ahead in that aspect. Like, we're still teammates at this point, and he's still helping me, prepare for Magomed. You know what I mean? He's still helping me, further my career and get better. Still giving me pointers. I'm still giving him pointers. So, it's a weird dynamic having to maybe fight my teammate, but I think we're both just like, if it happens, it happens. We'll address it kind of when it was there. We'll focus on the task at hand. I got a hefty task at hand. So, if that stuff happens, we're open to it, but, I'm not kind of focused on it right now.
We talk about the Olympics a little bit, and one thing that has really motivated us or touched us is when they get these athletes afterwards and they have these interviews with them, they have about a minute to say whatever's been on their mind. And you think about everything that's gone into their training and into this particular moment. It's a moment that I think even as kids, sometimes we just fantasize about what we would say in those scenarios. Have you ever given thought to what you would say the day somebody puts that belt around your waist? Do you already know the people that you're going to thank? Do you feel like that's something that's going to happen on the fly, or have you practiced that speech in your mind?
That's a good question. That's like farther than what I imagine, but I do imagine, or like after every fight, I imagine what the walkout's gonna be like. I imagine, I visualize kind of what I'm gonna say after a win, or where my head's gonna be at after a win. So I haven't visualized that yet. You know what I mean? I should probably get on that. So, but yeah, that is that. I mean, I feel like a relieving moment, like a chest or a weight off of your chest moment. I won nationals twice in wrestling, and I feel like those moments were like the first, especially my first time winning nationals. I was like stumbling over my words. I cussed in an interview on accident, but I was just like not prepared. But I was like super happy, and proud of what I did and what I did to get there. So yeah, that moment would be, priceless.
Maybe that's the best thing, is to just wing it when it happens, right?
Yeah, I feel like I'll probably wing it a little bit. I'll probably have some stuff that I want to get off my chest or want to say. But I'll probably wing it for the most part.
Are you a fan of the sport in general? Like, will you take a shower, do your interviews, and then rush out to watch Gegard Mousasi defend against Salter, or are you just more like, man, let's pack it up and go home?
I'm a fan usually of watching, my teammates. I watch it, like Gegard Mousasi and John Salter. I'll definitely watch that. I'm a fan of the sport. I watch a lot more of my teammates than I watch kind of like MMA as a whole. But I'm always like watching MMA. I also watch MMA that pertains kind of to what I want to implement or stop from happening. So I'm definitely a fan. After my fight, I'll go. I mean, after the last couple fights, I think I've had teammates on my card, but we'll find a drink somewhere and go watch fights. Like, that's just what we do. You know what I mean? It's my lifestyle now. It's my life now. Mixed martial arts. So I mean, that's what you can find me doing, either practicing it or watching it. If I'm not with family.
When's the last time you watched the fight, and when it was over, you're like, well, hold on a second, rewind that. What'd that fool do? Because I want to implement that in my game. Like, what was that? Yeah, do you remember that moment?
Last time I like implemented something from a fight.
Or just saw something that piqued your interest.
So I've been like lately, everybody that I've fought, I feel like has done something. Like I watch like film on somebody I'm fighting or whatever, and they're done something, and I'm like, man, that's a freaking good move. Like, why? That's like awesome. Like, I need to start doing that stuff, and that's how I started like MMA when I first started. Was like, I didn't know anything. If somebody hit me with something, I was like, okay, noted. I'm gonna do that to you instead of you doing that to me. So I do that a lot. Like my teammates or my opponents. I learned a lot from the guy I just fought. I can't remember his name. But yeah, the guy I just fought, I learned a cool little foot sweep from the cage, that I've been using and implementing in my game. I've learned some stuff from Magomed, about MMA top control and being able to free up my hands and open up on them on the top. So that's I feel like the most recent one I've learned from is my opponent, actually.
Right. Your last guy was Josh Hill, by the way.
Josh Hill, yeah.
Yeah. When I watched McKee and Pitbull, even though the fight went fast, I had seen it before, but I hadn't seen it in a while. And it was it was like the third replay. So it's not like I caught it initially, but as he's doing the guillotine, he actually then goes in and hooks the leg. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah,
it tougher for
on that right side. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's cool. I love watching fights and even the replays for those things. And I always wondered, I wonder what Monday practices are like in different gyms. If they're just, coach, we got to work on this thing, and if that's like for you guys.
Our coach, Coach Duke Rufus, is like really good at like evolving with the game, So we'll work techniques that worked in the previous fight weeks or the weekend or whatever. We'll work a lot of that stuff that next Monday, especially if it pertains to whoever has the next big fight coming up. You know what I mean? I feel like that's a lot of reasons why I love Rufus Sport and love Duke Rufus is because he's all constantly evolving. He probably watches more film than any of my teammates combined. He's always like sending us stuff, and he's always like just like adding and keeping his mind open to new techniques and new ways to hurt people. So yeah.
Hey, last two questions. I'll make them quick. What were your thoughts? This is where we met you, was Victory Fighting. What were your thoughts on the four-sided cage? Like, did you enjoy it?
I like the four-sided cage. It was like, I feel like it was roomier. I feel like it had like a lot more room. And then also, like, if I could catch somebody in those corners, right, I felt like it was very hard for them to get out. So I wasn't able to catch too many people there, but like I felt like when I was able to catch people there, it was like impossible for them to like get out. So that was cool.
Yeah, they produced a lot of finishes in that organization. I always tried to wonder why, and I wonder if that had anything to do with it. It has that boxing ring feel where you could set different traps, would get people isolated in a corner, and then you could go do work. But the last thing was, if you ever get to throw out a pitch at a baseball game, you think you'll do better than Belal Muhammad, and you're not going to wear Crocs, right?
Man, the Croc gang. I'm in the Croc gang, man.
On a baseball diamond?
I'm in the Croc gang with Belal, man. I'm in it. Yeah, I got my Crocs over here, actually. Yellow Crocs. But no, I think I'm pretty much anything Belal does, I'm a little better at, so I'll just, throw a ball. How fast did he throw it? I'll probably throw it like 10 miles.
He claims 93. He's
I
told him, I go, no, man, that's kilometers.
That's pretty good, though. God damn.
I told him that's kilometers. How many miles per hour did you just throw? But no, he's a good sport. We love Belal, but I didn't like those Crocs. So I was like, come on.
He didn't even put it in sport mode. He was like, he had one in freaking sport mode, one in the goddamn slipper mode. You know what I'm saying? Like, get your life together, Belal. Come on.
Who gets invited to some sort of a game and then the first thing you go is, oh, I got to get my Crocs. You know what I mean?
He's trying to get that Croc sponsorship. I see him. Belal is always thinking. See, I see.
Maybe he's a step ahead. All right. Hey, Raufeon, it's great chatting with you. Great catching up with you. Best of luck with your camp, your weight cut, whatever's left before the big fight next week against Magomed Magomedov at Bellator 264. Thanks again, brother.
Thank you, man. It was a pleasure talking to y'all.